Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into another edition of From the Rough. It's America's favorite golf podcast right here on FanStream Sports. Coming at you live from the FanStream Sports studios in North Dallas. I am IndyCarTim, joined as I usually, sometimes, typically am, by PGA of America member Mr. Johnny the Gerbman Gerber, who missed the recap show on Monday due to golf. But welcome into your show, Johnny.
Well, thank you. Thank you for holding it down. I had a interesting travel day with all the trials and tribulations of America government getting back into action. I was in airports all day Monday. As much as they said that they're getting back to work on Sunday, I guess it takes a little bit of time for those air traffic controllers or TSA, whoever they decided to put back to work. Took a little time. But, hey, a long travel day, but we are here. It is Wednesday. And we are ready for the last official event of the season on the PGA Tour, the RSM. We'll talk a little bit about our picks, a little preview of the golf course, and we'll dive into a couple other things that I know, Tim, you tapped on Monday. So that would be a great little tease in terms of talking about Justin Thomas, and maybe we'll talk about some expectations for some other guys for 2026. I know we're going to continue to do shows, even though the schedule has closed out for the official events. There's still so much to talk about. And like we talked about before, 2026, having more shows, diving into a little LPGA, a little Live signature happened today. I don't know if you guys jumped on that, but maybe we'll talk about that a little bit too. We don't talk about a little bit of Live talk, but maybe, I don't know how big of a significant signing that was, but certainly a player who's on the rise and might make something happen over at the Live Tour.
All right. Well, I am unaware of that, if that just happened today then, because I have not seen it, and I've been busy putting out shows here at FanStream Sports all morning and all afternoon. So you can break that news to me. But I tell you what, before we do that, let's recap a little Justin Thomas before we get into the RSM and some Live Golf. Because as I discussed on Monday on the Butterball Bermuda Triangle recap show, Justin Thomas will miss the beginning of the 2026 PGA Tour season, as well as some little mini events that he was committed to here late this year, having emergency disc repair surgery for his back, which I guess they called it a microdiscectomy, which sounds pornographic, but hopefully it's going to help him. His timetable to return has not been disclosed. He posted something on social media over the weekend that caused me to find it and get to it a little bit. His exact quote was, "My next few weeks will be a lot of resting before the rehab process begins. I have a great team behind me who I fully trust to get me back to a better place than where I was before. Before you ask, I'm not putting any tournament on the calendar or specific time returning. While I will miss some events in the beginning of 2026, I want to be very smart and patient in letting my disc fully heal so it isn't an issue again. I'm very lucky that the game of golf allows us to play at a high level for a long time, and that's what I plan on doing. This procedure will allow me to do that injury-free in the future. Can't wait to see y'all back out there," end quote. And let me say this, if I didn't on Monday. If what we saw from Justin Thomas last year was him being hurt with a back injury all year, or dealing with that most of the year, and he's going to come into 2026, whenever that is, fully healthy with no back issues, maybe watch out for Justin Thomas in 2026.
Yeah, and I'm really surprised that it's taken so long for this to happen, as violently as he swings at the golf club. Being a little person, I mean, when you have those baby bones, man, as little as he is, that violence can certainly take a wear and tear on his body. But, you look at a guy like Justin Thomas that was raised to play golf. So, even as a young kid, his muscles have been raised and trained to handle the golf swing as he has. So, yeah, I'm a little surprised it hasn't happened before with injuries from his back, but Maybe this is something that he needs in terms of that, maybe changing his golf swing a little bit. I thought he had a great bounce back year comparative, like you just said, of having a good year last year, Ryder Cup, things like that, jumping on as opposed to the year before. So, yeah, I mean, if not now, when for Justin Thomas in terms of getting healthy? And this seems like a pretty right time. He can spend some time with his family and his newborns. And, as long as it's not a continual issue like a Tiger Woods, and we all, inside the rumor mills knows why Tigers happened to Tiger. I don't think that's the case with Justin Thomas, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, and some are calling the timing of this a little curious. I don't think it's necessarily uncommon for guys to schedule stuff like this at the end of the regular season, especially guys like Justin Thomas, who's not competing for a regular spot on the tour next year. He's got everything he needs to have pretty much locked down. But it is curious to me that he had already committed to some things at the end of the year. He was supposed to play in the upcoming Skins game with Keegan Bradley, Tommy Fleetwood, and Xander Schauffele. They're at Panther National in Florida. So he can't do that, and he had scheduled that. He can't start the TGL season. It starts December 28th. He had already committed to that. So this tells me that maybe this isn't something that he had pre-scheduled, and possibly he thought maybe he could just rehab whatever was going on with his back, and he had been, maybe dealing with that and working with that a little bit, and then maybe it just came down to him and his doctor going, look, the best thing and quickest way to fix this is let's cut you open, let's take care of it. You'll miss some time, but it'll be done, and we'll know it's done. And even then, even though you scheduled the Skins game and committed to TGL in late December, it still might be the better option for him in the long run.
Yeah, I think it's the latter for sure. I think he, in all intents and purposes, he tried to play through the rest of the year and maybe had it done, or maybe he didn't think it was nearly as serious as he thought.
Yeah.
But I think when they dove into it and got in there, like, listen, here's your options. Let's knock this out now sooner than later. So maybe, later on in the 2026 season, you can start getting some reps when it's a little bit more important, maybe from there. So, yeah, I think it's the latter. I think he was forced on. I think he was going to try to play through it through the year, but I just think it got to the point that he was like, well, the doctor said, let's just go ahead and get this done.
Yeah, and as we discussed the start of the season, I haven't discussed this on the show, Johnny, since you've been out and since I've been doing the solo shows, but the start of the 2026 season itself has been delayed as they have canceled the Century in Hawaii due to drought conditions. I guess the course probably is not in great shape, and they don't want to put that on TV and make the players have to deal with all that. So instead, the 2026 season will start at the Sony Open in Honolulu the week of January 15th through the 18th. So we're already missing a week of golf to start 2026. So, Justin's not missing that, obviously, and wouldn't have played in it anyway with the surgery. But I hadn't mentioned that yet on the show in case some haven't heard that the Century has been canceled, which sucks because that's usually a pretty fun opening to start the year every year.
Yeah, and it kind of kicks off the season for a lot of those guys. They changed the criteria of it. It's just not winners only. So basically what it did, a lot of those guys would go over for 2 weeks. So I think this is going to hurt Sony because, a lot of these guys are not going to really start their season probably until California. So, American Express is probably what's going to happen, and it's also a good start to the season. You're playing in a Pro-Am format that's a little bit more, not as intense, maybe kind of starting your way into the season. And like I said, a lot of those guys would just go over there for 2 weeks, play old tournament champions Hyundai, and then play Sony. I think it's going to eliminate some of those guys because they don't want to make that trip over there just for 1 week. It's far. It's a far place to go. So I think that, I think it's going to hurt Sony a little bit when it comes to that.
Yeah, and they had looked for some, I guess, alternative venues and try to figure somewhere else where they could play this thing to make it happen so they didn't have to cancel it. But in the long run, just decided a cancellation was what was best for everybody. So we will not have the Century in 2026, but instead start the season with the Sony Open in Honolulu in the foreign country of Hawaii.
You haven't been there either, have you?
Across the pond. No,
Yeah,
I've never been to Hawaii. Why would anyone go to Hawaii? I don't understand.
Yeah. I kind of have a tendency to agree with it. It's far and expensive. I can think about a hell of a lot of other places to go besides Hawaii to have a little bit more fun.
Yeah, you know where I'd rather vacation than Hawaii?
Louisville?
Waco, Texas.
Oh, no. No.
It's a lot cheaper to get there, and there's as many fun things I can do in Waco that I can do in the foreign country of Hawaii.
You're the only person probably in the world that says Waco, Texas is better than Hawaii, but you try to, you putt from the rough also. So that's kind of one of those things that you do.
Well, hey, sometimes when there's only one pickle in the pickle jar, you just got to eat that pickle.
That just means there's no options. There's just not options.
If we have time, we may get into, I got a little Caitlin Clark and Nelly Korda news.
They're going out.
We may get to here towards the end of the show as we try to expand our golf discussions here outside of just the regular PGA Tour. We'll certainly be talking a little bit, against my moral compass and better judgment, we'll be talking some live golf here probably in 2026. But we've also committed to some LPGA, some DP World Tour, as I covered a little bit of that last week on the Monday recap with.
You did a good job. You did good.
Yeah, so a little bit out of my element, but I'm working on it. So we got a little Pro-Am Nelly Korda, Caitlin Clark fun that maybe we'll bring up here towards the end of the show if we have time. But the RSM Classic once again marks the final event of a PGA Tour season. And once again, Johnny, there's a lot on the line for a lot of these guys. Some are fighting for a spot in the first signature events of 2026. Some are fighting to keep their status. Certainly a trophy would be nice this week at Sea Island Golf Club, but job security is a fine consolation prize for a lot of these guys that are on the bubble as the 2025 Tour campaign comes to a close. It all comes down to this for golfers on the top 100 bubble in the FedEx Cup Fall. Last year, 2 golfers were able to parlay their results at Sea Island into a tidy jump in the standings, with plenty more looking for the same to do this week. Max McGreevy was number 100 last week, but a solid finish for him at the Butterball Turkey Bermuda Triangle Championship, as he did not disappear, as I predicted some would, in that tricky triangle that's out there. He moved up to number 89, leaving Carl Phillips at number 100 now.
Yeah, he's out.
And look, right now the standings don't really mean much because we still got one to go here, but it means a little something as your starting point to where we're going now. Doug Gim, number 125. Joel Damon, number 117. You got a lot of guys here on the bubble that are looking to improve their standings before now the Sony next year.
Yeah, and like we talked about last week, I mean, it's a tournament inside a tournament these next few weeks. I mean, it's not end all be all for these guys that are used to playing the PGA Tour like the Joel Damons. They do have an opportunity to regain their card at Tour School, but that's the hardest tournament in the world, and no one wants to do that. Trust me, I've been to that PGA Tour qualifying events, and they're just hard. I mean, you could shoot 15, 16 under for 4 days and not get in, and you could shoot 2 under and get in certain spots. So you just don't know. It's so much luck of the draw and so much kind of a crapshoot, and especially when there's so many fewer cards that they're giving out this year to get your PGA Tour status. So, once you've solidified yourself on the PGA Tour or any sport, really, no one wants to go back down to the minors. And I hate saying that the Korn Ferry Tour is minor or the minor leagues, but it's a step below. I mean, let's just not be honest. Now, all those guys can win on the PGA Tour. Sure. A lot of great players, but the facts are the facts. So, I wanted to put Joel Damon on the card. I just don't see how many times. I mean, there's just a lot of pressure for a guy like that to go from 116, 117 to 100. That's a hard ask. And a lot of that pressure, it seems to, if you look at a guy like Joel Damon, he doesn't have a tendency to handle that pressure very well. Right. So he's, he just missed our card, but I had to look at it as a business. I wanted to put him on our card. Just maybe I could push him along and root for him, but that's just not how we gamble. So he missed our card, but I do hope that Joel Damon makes a good run this week.
Yeah, and if you remember last year, it was kind of magic for him coming into the RSM. He shot a final round 64.
Yeah.
This week last season to keep his card for 2025. Adam Schenk, of course, our winner at Bermuda, hopes for another good result at Sea Island. He finally broke through in his 234th PGA Tour start to get his first win. This will be his 8th start at the RSM Classic. He's made the cut the last 2 seasons. It's also the final week to try and earn a spot in the first 2 signature events of 2026. You get that by finishing anywhere between 51 and 60 in the standings. Per usual, there's lots of tour pros in the field who call this place home. Harris English, Luke Clanton are all part of that group. And they finished runner-up at RSM Classic a year ago as an amateur. Luke Clanton did, but he's returning this year as a pro, his first time to play here as a pro. Thoughts on Luke Clanton coming back and kind of how he finished the season?
Yeah, I mean, super high expectations for that guy, especially, after the last year, all the starts that he had. But we talked about this before, and, it's a different animal when you're doing this for your job and then there's not a lot of pressure as opposed to, playing 6 or 7, 8 events and then going back to a life of college life. So, I don't know. We had him on our card a bunch. Maybe some expectations were a little high for him. Not only from him, but from us in terms of the betting world and players, just by how he played in his start. So, a lot of these guys kind of fit that realm. They getting used to tour life is not the easiest thing in the world. These guys aren't like it was, 20 years ago where they, a handful of them would travel with each other. A lot of these guys don't do that anymore. There's so much money and they have their own agenda. So, if it's for me, I think it's a little below average. I think I just had higher expectations from Luke Clanton than he has performed, in my opinion.
We've also got some sponsor exemptions this week. Johnny Kiefer is going to tee it up for the second time since being named the Korn Ferry Tour's Player of the Year and Rookie of the Year in 2025. He played in both the U.S. Open and PGA Championship last year, along with the RBC Canadian Open, and he was dominant on the Korn Ferry with 2 wins and 2 other runner-ups. En route to finishing number 1 on the season-long points list on the Korn Ferry Tour. The only 2 guys ever to win the Player of the Year on the Korn Ferry and the Rookie of the Year, Scotty in 2018, and none other than
Scotty Scheffler
in 2019.
Yeah. I wouldn't have guessed Sung J M. I was pretty solid that I knew it was Scheffler, but I Sung J M was that's an interesting one. That's a good trivia question.
Yeah. Kiefer missed the cut at the Worldwide Technology Championship in his last tour start. At number 52 in the world, he can jump up into the top 50 by the end of the year, and of course earn a spot in the Masters. Blades Brown. I know a guy named Blade Bowen, so that's why Bowen automatically.
He's probably not playing this week. He's not.
He ain't playing golf. He makes knives for a living. That's why he's got the name Blades. But that just popped out of my brain. You know who you are. Blades Brown will tee it up for the 8th time this PGA Tour season, but the first since the Charles Schwab back in May. He turned 18 this summer. He had 2 top 10s on the Korn Ferry Tour. He finished 68th on the regular season points list to earn full Korn Ferry Tour status for 2026. He finished T34 last week at the Butterball, tied for his best tour start this season. He also finished T34 at Mexico, the Vendanta World. And then Brendan Valdez is making his 3rd tour start of the year after finishing T41 at the John Deere and an impressive T20 at the 3M Open. The Auburn University alum, of course, finished his career ranked 2nd. The PGA Tour University rankings in the top 5 in the world amateur golf rankings, Johnny. Thoughts on, Brown's an interesting guy. I talked about him a little bit in the preview for Bermuda a week ago, being as young as he is, but he's got a lot of experience, and he got a lot of guys like that kind of followed the course of Ludwig Oberg, who we've talked about even when he was still at Texas Tech quite a bit. But a lot of these young guys just have a lot more experience than a lot of young guys did trying to make the tour in years past.
Yeah, the paths to the PGA Tour, there's certainly a lot of different paths. A guy like Blades Brown kind of takes the route of who am I thinking of? The lefty that didn't go to college. He's had a great year. He's won on the PGA Tour. It'll come to me. Sorry, it's just been a long travel week. But and then you also got guys that kind of take advantage of that PGA Tour University, which I think is a great opportunity for these guys. David Ford was number 1, so he's going to get a bunch of starts. So there's a lot of different ways and a lot of different paths. I just think my opinion is, I think there's a guy like Blades Brown. He was number 1 in successful junior ranks every place he went. College life just wasn't for him. Now, I would have went if I was him. He would have got plenty of NIL money going somewhere and would have played against really good competition. Maybe the guy doesn't like books. I don't know. Maybe the guy does things in college it's just not good. So, there's a lot of different paths, and who am I to say what's the best path for you or for anyone else when it comes to that? But there's certainly plenty of opportunities for these guys that want to get their PGA Tour card in terms of different tours, PGA Tour Latin America, which I played on, PGA Tour Canada, and then you got the Korn Ferry Tour, and then especially with a lot of these exemptions, maybe going DP, maybe playing a lot of Asian Tour. So listen, it's robust. If you're a good enough player, there's a million opportunities for you to go play to make it on the PGA Tour.
Let's take a break here and then come back. We'll talk a little bit about some of the storylines that we've got in store here for everybody for the 2025 RSM Classic. We are from the rough right here on FanStream Sports, brought to you as always by Orion Golf Management Solutions at OrionGolf.com. If you run a golf facility, whether it's a golf course, a driving range, country club, they can help you with things such as staffing, events, catering, F&D, pretty much every merchandise, everything for you over at Orion Golf. Head over to OrionGolf.com. Let them know Tim and John at From the Rough sent you over there, and they can help you out. And also Tomstown Distilling Company, our favorite distilling company, my favorite vodka, my favorite bourbon, and my favorite seltzers over at toms-town.com, available for delivery in 40-plus states in these United States of America. So head over to toms-town.com, check out what they've got available for you, and see if you can get that delivered to your doorstep and be like me, as I enjoy Tomstown very frequently, maybe more than I should, but I do it responsibly, and you should too. We'll be back after this.
Hi, golfers. IndyCarTim here. I want to talk to you a little bit about Golf Central Magazine. It's not just a golf magazine. It's the magazine for everything: turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Head over to golfcentralmag.com and check out the latest issue. Some of the regular features in Golf Central Magazine: the Golf Bachelorette of the Month, the Golf Bachelor of the Month, the Golf Cart Girl of the Month, Golf History, Grip It and Sip It. So head over to golfcentralmag.com. It's free. It's the magazine for everything: turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Golf Central Magazine at golfcentralmag.com. We'll see you there.
Hey folks, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center, a very different kind of approach to primary care. Personalized preventative medicine, not a one-pill-fits-all mentality. Christopher Lugo and his experienced medical staff are proactive in looking at issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Rather than the impersonal, rushed approach, you will be the only patient and will have our full attention. That's new. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. Bay Area Modern Medical Centers are experts in anti-aging regenerative medicine that optimizes your body's performance in many areas. So call for an appointment to get started on a journey back to full health and a happy life with a new, modern way of healthcare. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com.
Today's show is brought to you by Tomstown, a premier craft distillery based in Kansas City, Missouri. Discover their award-winning lineup, including double oaked bourbon, botanical gin, and double grain vodka, named the best craft vodka by the readers of USA Today. Available for online delivery in 40 states. Visit toms-town.com or their Kansas City distillery to explore more. Elevate your game with Tomstown, where history meets innovation. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hello, folks. Let's talk a little bit about turf life. And what is turf life? It's pretty much if your life involves turf in any way, shape, or form, you live the turf life. Go ahead and brand yourself with the turf life. Maybe a back window decal, maybe a hat. You know where you can get those kinds of things to showcase that your life revolves around sports and or anything that involves sports. If it's a sports business or sports education or just your enjoyment of the outdoors, head over to turflifeclub.com. Become a turf head. Join the club today. You can do that by going to that said website that I just told you to go to. You can snag your window decal like I was talking about, or any of your other turf life accessories. Show everybody that you live the turf life, and we'll see you there over there at that turflifeclub.com.
Although it may seem tempting to go without health care insurance, the financial risk far outweighs the gain you may experience. For example, did you know if you simply broke your leg, it could cost you nearly $7,500? Put on top of that a hospital stay, you could be looking at $10,000 to $15,000. Ensuring that you don't go uncovered is so important, as according to CNBC, high medical bills are the highest contributing factor to why Americans end up taking money out of their retirement savings, or worse, find themselves filing bankruptcy. So go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. Now, depending on your income, you can get plans for zero premium. Our experts will guide you through the process effortlessly. They will shop many plans and find the one that's right for you. I called and I have full health coverage through Florida Blue for zero monthly premium. It's a free call. So why go uncovered? It's a huge risk. Go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. That's 800-669-1505.
Orion Golf Management Solutions. Orion Management Solutions has tailored its service packages just like it tailors its approach to customers. Some owners need more supervision, while others need periodic assessment of their short-term and long-term strategies and programs. Orion can be called in to develop a business plan with the existing staff, or we can assist with the daily management of a facility or event. Either way, we make sure the client is satisfied and understands the direction the facility needs to go in order to achieve the owner's goals. Orion Management Solutions can help with owner assistance service solutions, daily course management, business plan development, monthly operations, or as-needed consulting services. Whatever your need, Orion Golf Management Solutions can help. Check out oriongolf.com.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to From the Rough right here on FanStream Sports. I'm IndyCarTim, that guy right over there, Johnny Gerber, PGA of America member Johnny Gerber, as we preview the RSM Classic coming up, the FedEx Cup Fall season finale for a lot of guys, their last chance, Johnny, to get into the field for next year, to get into signature events, to show off for their girlfriends, their wives, their mistresses, their kids, whoever it is that they're trying to show, hey, look at me, I can play golf. Look, just because everybody that matters isn't here this week and I might finish in the top 20, that doesn't matter. Don't worry about that. I can still play golf better than maybe 10 people in the world. I think that's what they're trying to do.
I think that was a lot, but I think there's some validity to that for sure. And you're at a place. I was just down in that area last week. That Sea Island down there is a little further south. It was in between where I was in Hilton Head and Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. And the weather is going to be perfect. It's going to be warm. You can get some spotty weather this time of year in that area, but it looks like they're going to have some great weather in a golf course that these guys love and in a place that a lot of these tour guys live. So, I don't want to say it's the final hoorah for a lot of these guys, but it certainly is. And a lot of storylines. I love it.
Yeah, let's get into some of those storylines for the upcoming week here for everybody. As part of the Aon Next 10, players ranked numbers 51 through 60 in the FedEx Cup Fall will earn their way into two early season 2026 signature events. The AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, where you might have a chance to play with John Gerber. Are you the pro or the am when you play?
Next.
And the Genesis Invitational. No one jumped inside the 51 through 60 mark after last week in the Bermuda Triangle, but Rico Hoey and Jordan Spieth swapped spots from 57 and 58. Adam Schenk, who won for the first time on the tour, at the Butterball Turkey Championship, jumped all the way from 134 to 67, and now heads to the RSM with a chance to move into the top 60 with another strong week. The winner, of course, this week gets your 500 FedEx Cup points. So, Johnny, when I have a question. When did the playoffs format as we currently have it, when did that start? Like, how long ago was that?
The playoffs? Well, it's not really playoffs. It's just they consider it the fall season.
Well, no. I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about at the end of the regular tour before FedEx Cup fall when they have the 3 tournament playoffs. Like, how long ago did they initiate that?
10 years ago, probably. It'd be my guess. It's somewhere around there.
So is that when we quit referring to guys as the tour's leading money winner this year, or we stopped referring to guys on the money list? Because that's what we used to have the whole time I watched golf growing up and through the 90s and what 2000s or whatever that I remember, is you would rank guys based on where they were on the money list, right? Like, this guy is in the top 10 on the money list this year, blah, blah, blah. That meant he was having a good year. Or you'd have so-and-so was the leading money winner on the PGA Tour last year. That's how you describe, him winning the championship or whatever it was. And is that when it stopped, when they decided to have the playoffs?
Yeah, they stopped in the playoffs, and then they played around with little different formats, but it really kind of got firmly solidified is when, you started having signature events and you have shorter fields to where, there's so much more money and spread out from guys that for 75 to 100 guys. So you couldn't base player of the year by money because it was so skewed on some of the events that these guys could get in. So they did it by points, FedEx Cup points. So you're the player of the year or both. You're the FedEx Cup champion. So, yeah, I mean, they've played around with so many different formats, and I certainly don't think the format that they currently have now is going to stick. I think they're going to make some changes and modifications to it. They're doing it right. And the reason why they did this, and and we've talked about this on the show a lot, is they were, as they drug the season along, they were fighting with the NFL and getting views, and no one's fighting with Big Daddy NFL. It's just not happening. And they got smart to where that they had the FedEx Cup playoffs end before the NFL season starts, right? Or 1 or 2 weeks, after that. So, that was one of the better things that they did. Now, again, playing around with the format, the staggered system in the FedEx Cup playoffs was garbage. That was trash. Scotty Scheffler having 10-shot lead over the next guy in the finals and the Tour Championship was terrible. So yeah. I think they're playing around with it, and as much as the money has, can certainly increased, I think they'll play around with it. Yeah, but I'd say 10 years maybe.
I just miss that. I miss having that phrase out there, the money winner, and the top 10 on the money list. That's just how I grew up with golf, and I'm still used to hearing that. And it's weird to not hear that anymore or not pay attention to, how much, I guess, kind of maybe privately you don't really want the amount of money these guys are making to get out there, just because I guess in some circles it could look bad. The guys are making that much money playing golf which wasn't the case like in the 80s. It wasn't nearly as out of skew as it is now, thanks to Tiger. But I don't know. I kind of miss that, and I kind of guess that's when they stopped using that format and that terminology was when they started having the point system and the playoffs go into it. Right. I kind of miss it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, a little bit. I agree with you.
Let's get into the course description here. They're actually starting Thursday and Friday on 2 courses, Johnny. The Seaside course, which is the main course there, 7,005 yards, which isn't long at all, but it's kind of a typical links Seaside setup. It's a par 70, very unstable par 70, but not as unstable as the par 71. I kind of went out on that rant on Monday as well. And then the Plantation course, 7,060 yards, par 72. Thank you very much. They will tee it up on both courses for the first 2 days before the Seaside takes on hosting duties for the weekend. Tom Fazio redesigned the Seaside course back in 1999, which made it its links style layout adjacent to the ocean right there. The Plantation course was redone by tournament host Davis Love III and his brother Mark back in 2019. Any guess who holds the 72-hole record, Johnny? I will tell you it's very recent.
Harris English.
It is a 253 from the year 2023 by Ludwig Oberg.
Oberg, yeah. I was going to say, yeah, Oberg.
The 18-hole record, Tommy Gainey in his final round in 2012, Sebastian Munoz in round 1 in 2021, Tyler McCumber in the final round in 2021, Mackenzie Hughes in the third round of 2023, all shot 60s. So we've never had a sub 60 here. Any odds of that happening this year?
No.
Or maybe ever.
No, yeah. The golf course, 7,000 yards at sea level, the golf course plays long. You don't get a lot of roll because it's overseeded. When I say by it's overseeded, that grass is very sticky. So you're not going to, you don't get a lot of roll. So 7,000, a little over 7,000 yards par 70. That's a long golf course. And especially with no roll. And if it gets windy, it's going to have some challenges. I just think that year it played very firm. It played very fast. I don't think they want to see that 60. It's a great golf course. Both golf courses are really good, but the Seaside obviously takes precedent over the other golf course that DL3 did. But, it's all weather pending. You could have boats blow on the golf course there. I mean, that's how windy it can get this time of year. I think the scores are going to be low. I think you're probably going to have to shoot maybe 15, 16 is probably going to be 17, depending on how they set it up. But I know the weather is going to be good, just me from being down there and looking at the forecast.
Last time out, Maverick McNeely finally broke through for his maiden tour title, capturing the RSM Classic by 1 over Luke Clanton after a birdie on the 72nd hole. He was in a 4-way tie for the lead on the 18th hole on Sunday, but fired a laser from the fairway to just 5 feet for a closing birdie. That was a great shot, man. I remember that.
It was.
And a tour trophy for the first time in his 134th start. Daniel Hamburger had a 20-foot birdie attempt of his own on 18 that preceded McNeely's winner. He missed and instead ended up tied for second with Clanton and Nico. I always say Echeverria, but how do they say it on TV? They say Echeverria.
Echeverria. Echeverria.
I still think they say it wrong, so I'm going with what I say. Sam Ryder ended up number 125 in the FedEx Cup fall standings and the last man to re-earn status for 2025, while Joel Damon fired a gusty Sunday 64 to stay at number 124. Berger and Henrik Norlander were the two golfers who moved inside the top 25 from outside the magic number. I hope you have the Golf Channel if you want to watch this, boys and girls, because Thursday and Friday, noon to 3 Eastern on Golf Channel, Saturday and Sunday, 1 to 4 on the Golf Channel for the closing round. If you have PGA Tour Live on ESPN Plus, as I do, you can start watching at 8:30 a.m. all the way through 4 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday. Friday, you can get up at 8:30 a.m. through 3 p.m. on Friday to watch golf on your ESPN Plus.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
I know you as much stuff as you got going on, probably watching golf on your list of priorities isn't number one. But I know early in the spring and in the fall and things are ramping up, you get really excited for some events. I know the Masters is you get up early, that's a priority. How you rank them. But when do you start to get excited about golf? When is it Colonial? Is it Masters and then carries to Colonial and Byron Nelson? When do you get hyped? Because I know there's some events that you wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to watch golf, not just because you're on the show. It's just because you get excited about it.
Yeah. This time of year, the NFL and college football kind of take most of my time because of my other duties that I have. And honestly, while I do watch some of the FedEx Cup fall, and it depends on, I probably don't watch Thursdays unless there's something special going on or where the course is. But, if there's not a lot going on, I'll try to catch some Saturday or some Sunday of all of these FedEx Cup fall tournaments. To say I get excited about them is probably a stretch. I don't know that any of them I get excited about, but I start to get excited in January before the Century every year because it's the first tournament of the year. To me, it's the start of the new season. It's a fresh season. I want to, just like you do in the first game of maybe your favorite NFL team, you get excited. The layoff isn't the same for the tour because, these guys just played a couple of months ago, but you kind of want to see how they're starting the new season. Everybody's got 0 points and everybody's walking into it the same. Plus, it's in the foreign country of Hawaii. Typically, you kind of want to see that on TV. I never want to experience it in person, but seeing it on TV is certainly cool. But I think probably for me, by the time the Masters rolls around, in April, because again, that's my birthday week usually.
Yeah.
My birthday's on April 7th, so the Masters falls right around there every year, unless it's COVID. Damn you, November.
Thanks,
but,
Ben Laden.
But yeah, I mean, I'm usually ramped up full bore by April. But man, I'd like to pay attention to the early season, because I want to see how guys are playing, what kind of form they're in, even though that literally has nothing to do with how they're going to finish the season or where they're going to be in August, in September. I just think it's fun to watch these guys and maybe see what the new sponsorships are, see what they're wearing on their hats, what they're wearing on their shirts, and what their bag looks like. Any caddy changes, I want to see how that's working out for people. And I don't know why, but every January I usually expect to see tour players driving around in golf carts, but it never happens.
And speaking of new stuff, I saw the new TaylorMade driver today.
Oh yeah, you had a TaylorMade thing. Did you get to hit it?
It was a little chilly here in Kansas City. QI4D. It's looking like it's the best driver they've come out for a long time. Tour players certainly are raving about it. It's better than that trash, the 35 that they came out with. It looks a little bit more like the 10. So they know they made some mistakes on the 35. We talked about that in the TaylorMade production product seminar today. So we got to see it. Couldn't take pictures. We had to leave our phone.
Really?
Yeah, we had to leave our phone, which I thought was cool. So no pictures, but I certainly have a print in my mind. But the tour guys have it. I think testament was Rory McIlroy drove a 428-yard par 4 using it with no wind in Dubai a couple weeks ago. So it looks great. These guys are going to be putting in play, and it's going to launch middle of January, early this year. It usually doesn't launch till February. So early launch date, little plug for TaylorMade. I'm looking forward to it. I did order mine today. We were allowed to, as staff players, to order their driver today. So I'm looking forward to it. And it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Well, that's cool. I can't wait for your first review and see if you can drive a 428-yard par 4.
It'll take me a couple shots, but I can get there.
Is it a good enough advancement in technology and well balanced enough, you think, for me to hit the center of a fairway with this new club?
No. There's nothing possible that way. It doesn't matter. You can't throw it in the middle of center of the fairway. So I don't think you're going to be able to hit it in the middle of the fairway.
Yeah, you're probably right. I probably could throw the club farther than I could hit the ball with it at this point. You think the club has good carry? Has anybody tried that yet?
I don't think your rotator cuff would like that very much if you tried to wing a golf club.
I don't know, man. I can still swing a baseball bat. My rotator cuffs are fine. I've got bionic rotator cuffs.
All right.
I mean, that doesn't mean I won't have to catch my breath between swings, but
okay, fair.
My rotator cuffs won't be hurting at all. All right, let's take our second break of the show, and we'll come back on the other side. We will talk about Johnny's picks as he presents his winning picks for the 2025 RSM Classic for us. Maybe talks a little bit about last week if he wants, since he wasn't here to do it in person, and any comments he has on the direction that he expects these guys to go for 2026. And then you've got to give us the new signee for Live Golf, because I still don't know who it is.
Okay.
Coming out of the other side.
And when I say it, you still might not know, but we'll see.
Oh, after you mention his name?
Yeah.
Is it Happy Gilmore?
Close.
Oh, all right. Well, now I really can't wait. Today's show is always brought to you by Turf Life over at turflifeclub.com. Go check those boys out. Get your window decal. Just like Johnny put on his Bentley here the other day with the flat tire, as he supports the Turf Life from the back of his Bentley with the blacked out tinted windows. And of course, Golf Central Magazine, the new edition just out for December. Head over to golfcentralmag.com. Put your email address in there and get notified each and every month when a brand new free digital issue comes to your inbox. All about golf, philanthropy, lifestyle, the Golf Cart Girl of the Month, the Grip It and Sip It reviews for you, for some food reviews and some cocktail reviews over there at golfcentralmag.com. Let them know that Tim and Johnny sent you, and say hi to Terry and Shannon for us. Hadn't talked to those girls in a while.
Miss them.
They probably forgot all about me anyway, but that's okay. I'm very forgettable, not a big deal. Back with Johnny's picks after this.
Hi, golfers. IndyCarTim here. I want to talk to you a little bit about Golf Central Magazine. It's not just a golf magazine. It's the magazine for everything. Turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Head over to golfcentralmag.com and check out the latest issue. Some of the regular features in Golf Central Magazine: the Golf Bachelorette of the Month, the Golf Bachelor of the Month, the Golf Cart Girl of the Month, Golf History, Grip It and Sip It. So head over to golfcentralmag.com. It's free. It's the magazine for everything: turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Golf Central Magazine at golfcentralmag.com. We'll see you there.
Hey, folks, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center, a very different kind of approach to primary care. Personalized preventative medicine, not a one-pill-fits-all mentality. Christopher Lugo and his experienced medical staff are proactive in looking at issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Rather than the impersonal, rushed approach, you will be the only patient and will have our full attention. That's new. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. Bay Area Modern Medical Centers are experts in anti-aging regenerative medicine that optimizes your body's performance in many areas. So call for an appointment to get started on a journey back to full health and a happy life with a new, modern way of healthcare. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com.
Today's show is brought to you by Tomstown, a premier craft distillery based in Kansas City, Missouri. Discover their award-winning lineup, including double oaked bourbon, botanical gin, and double grain vodka, named the best craft vodka by the readers of USA Today. Available for online delivery in 40 states. Visit toms-town.com or their Kansas City distillery to explore more. Elevate your game with Tomstown, where history meets innovation. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hello, folks. Let's talk a little bit about turf life. What is turf life? It's pretty much if your life involves turf in any way, shape, or form, you live the turf life. Go ahead and brand yourself with the turf life. Maybe a back window decal, maybe a hat. You know where you can get those kinds of things to showcase that your life revolves around sports and or anything that involves sports. If it's a sports business or sports education or just your enjoyment of the outdoors, head over to turflifeclub.com. Become a turf head. Join the club today. You can do that by going to that said website that I just told you to go to. You can snag your window decal like I was talking about, or any of your other turf life accessories. Show everybody that you live the turf life, and we'll see you there over there at that turflifeclub.com.
Although it may seem tempting to go without health care insurance, the financial risk far outweighs the gain you may experience. For example, did you know if you simply broke your leg, it could cost you nearly $7,500? Put on top of that a hospital stay, you could be looking at $10,000 to $15,000. Ensuring that you don't go uncovered is so important, as according to CNBC, high medical bills are the highest contributing factor to why Americans end up taking money out of their retirement savings, or worse, find themselves filing bankruptcy. So go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. Now, depending on your income, you can get plans for zero premium. Our experts will guide you through the process effortlessly. They will shop many plans and find the one that's right for you. I called and I have full health coverage through Florida Blue for zero monthly premium. It's a free call. So why go uncovered? It's a huge risk. Go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. That's 800-669-1505.
Orion Golf Management Solutions. Orion Management Solutions has tailored its service packages just like it tailors its approach to customers. Some owners need more supervision, while others need periodic assessment of their short-term and long-term strategies and programs. Orion can be called in to develop a business plan with the existing staff, or we can assist with the daily management of a facility or event. Either way, we make sure the client is satisfied and understands the direction the facility needs to go in order to achieve the owner's goals. Orion Management Solutions can help with owner assistance service solutions, daily course management, business plan development, monthly operations, or as-needed consulting services. Whatever your need, Orion Golf Management Solutions can help. Check out oriongolf.com.
Let's go! Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to From the Rough right here on FanStream Sports. I'm IndyCarTim, that guy over there to my forward-facing area on camera is PGA of America John Gerber as we preview the RSM Classic from not the Bermuda Triangle. We pray for all those golfers that made it out to Bermuda that they got home safely, having to either boat or fly or whatever through that triangle area.
Tough place. Look, see how windy it was. They were hitting 5 irons from like 110. That's what you normally do. But for tour players, it's not a very good thing.
Oh, is that not a normal distance for a 5 iron? 110? I mean,
No.
that's a good 5 iron.
You have to stripe it to get it there.
I never liked playing in the wind, even when I played fairly well. I just never a good wind player. I just
understood.
I can't. I never could really spin the ball very well. I never mastered that aspect of the game. So if it was windy, man, I had a pretty good fade, so I could sometimes play into a left to right wind. But man, if it was right to left, I was screwed. I had nothing.
Okay, fair. At least you know your game.
Yeah, well, I wish I still had that game. That was a long time ago. But we are not here to talk about how bad at golf Tim is or how good he may or may have used to have been. We are here to make some money with Johnny the Gerbinator and his winning picks. Now, this week, Tim did not have time to do picks because Tim's been busy, but he didn't need to bore you with his stuff anyway. But let's talk about Johnny's winning picks right here on From the Rough, as we will bring those to the stage for you, Johnny. Tell us about your picks.
Last hurrah, guys. Unfortunately, we've had not a great year up to our standards, but we were certainly still profitable with just a little under $1,000 net profit. Not great for us. Certainly not great for us. 53, 24, and 5 in our matchups for the year. This will, we might get some bonus picks. There's not a lot of things that we're going to play around with in terms of the next 6 weeks. In terms of betting, our calendar year ends in terms of betting December 31st. So we might play around with little DP World Tour. We won't get too in depth with it, but I like this guy, Michael Thornborson, 24-1. Listen, the guy's destined to be a superstar on the PGA Tour. You're going to hear a lot about this guy. You just are. I like the way he plays. Plenty of distance off the tee. You don't really need distance here. It's more of a tactical golf course, but this guy certainly has the power to get it at 24-1. Alex Smalley, 30-1. Listen, he's had some woogie boogies the last couple weeks. He hasn't really played well, but he is very good on Bermuda, and I think he feels comfortable here at Sea Island and 30-1. I like him. Mackenzie Hughes at 45-1. You're looking at a guy that hasn't had a great year. He sits outside of that top 100. He has played well here. This is a great golf course for him. He basically grew up playing. He's from Canada, went to Kent State, but he lived a lot in Charlotte. So he's used to this type of grass, going a little bit further south. So listen, I like Mackenzie Hughes coming off, kind of a push year. Here's a guy with Mackenzie Hughes who is back against the wall. He has a tendency to play well. So I like him at 45-1. Ham Sandwich, Bud Colley, 55-1. Perfect golf course for Bud Colley. Look for Bud Colley to have a good week. He sits outside. I don't know where he sits here. I think he certainly sits outside that top 100, but I think he's going to have a great week, 55-1. I like him on this golf course. Top 10s, JT Poston at plus 330, Eric Cole at plus 600. What do you say about the Postman? Listen, plus 330. I didn't like him. I almost put him to win, but I just need to see a little bit more out of him. He hasn't had a great year by his standards, but I think a little home cooking, this type of grass, this type of area, I think I like him a lot here, plus 330. Eric Cole fits the bill also. Very straight off the tee. We had him on our card 2 weeks ago, missed the cut. I think he bounces back this week, plus 600. I like value there at top 10. Value means a lot. Plus 600, Eric Cole. And 2 top 20s, Chris Kirk plus 175 and Tom Hoagie at plus 500. Chris Kirk hasn't played in the last 5 or 6 weeks. The last time Chris Kirk took this time off, his next 3 starts never finished outside the top 20. So I'm banking on that to happen again with Chris Kirk. And Tom Hoagie plus 500. I mean, let's just keep it real. He's had a shitty year, an awful year for Tom Hoagie. One of the best ball strikers on the PGA Tour. I like for him to bounce back this week. There at RSM, he's not in danger of losing his card coming from his win last year, 2 years ago at Pebble Beach. So, hey, listen, that's our card this week. Last big in-depth betting week for us. We will dabble a little bit over the holiday season and get ready to jump back in in 2026.
Very nice. Here's Johnny's picks for you. Make sure you check out fanstreamsports.com. We've got our picks posted there as we do. Go check out the headlines or the From the Rough Golf page, and you can find the article containing Johnny's picks and explanations there for you every Wednesday morning as we get into this thing and start to kick off 2026 in January. That's where you can find all the picks before the show with a written explanation at fanstreamsports.com, the new fanstreamsports.com. Check it out over there with headlines for Dallas, for all of Texas, for all of Florida, and for all of Ohio and the surrounding areas, programs, schools, professional teams. And as always, all of the golf coverage throughout the PGA Tour season. And we'll get into some live golf, some maybe not some live golf, but we'll get into some DP World Tour stuff for you, some LPGA for certainly, as well as the Korn Ferry stuff for you year-round beginning in January over at fanstreamsports.com, if I haven't said it enough. So, Johnny, break this news for us before we let the folks go about live golf.
Newest member of live golf is Victor Perez.
See, we talked about that this season a little bit. What are your initial thoughts on that? Were the terms of the contract disclosed?
Not disclosed. In my opinion, it's whatever. It doesn't move the needle for me.
Yeah.
Obviously a world-class player, top 50 players, 60 players in the world, has some good success in the majors. Doesn't move the needle, but I don't foresee live golf getting any of the bigger names anymore. I just don't. So you're going to see a lot of guys like the caliber of Victor Perez. Listen, no disrespect to Victor Perez, just doesn't move the needle. And you're going to maybe see some of these guys like a Victor Perez maybe move over. I certainly don't think Victor Perez is any danger of winning a major. I think the re-added scenarios, he's already exempt on the DP World Tour, so he can get his world ranking points there until Liv gets their world ranking points. So, you didn't hear about it because it didn't make a big splash. How about that, Tim? So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Do you think the Live Golf announcing their move to 72 or to 4 days, 72 holes, do you think that impacted Victor Perez's decision? No. And do you think that'll impact other golfers' decision to either go or not?
No. I think what they're going to do is I think the guys who are going to go, there'll be a lot of the European guys, a lot of the South American guys that still have status on the DP World Tour as they continue to earn their points. I think they'll start doing that as you'll see what the success of the Hattons and the guys like that are having when it comes to that. But like I said, I think in my opinion, I think this is an 18-month until they really decide to merge together. I think it's going to, after this season, after the new commissioner kind of gets his feet wet a little bit and does some things like that, I think you're going to see more talks of, some of those guys playing the PGA Tour again.
All right. Well, Victor Perez, it was nice knowing you. You're no longer on my golf radar.
Sayonara, bud.
I mean, not that you were before, but I mean, I would call myself a fan. If he was near the top of the leaderboard, I'd pull for him.
He's made us some money. I got no problem with Victor Perez. He's made us some money.
The Frenchman, but good luck to you, sir. And we'll see you after reunification.
Yep.
Quite potentially. So, all right. Well, that's going to do it for us then today. Thanks to everybody that made this one possible. Thanks to Golf Central Magazine, Orion Golf, Tomstown, and of course, let's see, who did I miss out? Turf Life. Thank you to Turf Life as well. Terry and Shannon and everybody over there at Golf Central Magazine and Turf Life. Thanks to Johnny for spouting off all of the important information to make this show what it is. And, I'm just the comic relief. That's why the solo shows are so bad when you're not around, Johnny, because I'm just dumb.
Nah, you do a great job
the entire time. But Johnny comes in to give us some credibility here on the golf side, so we appreciate that very much as we welcome him to his own show each and every show. But we will be back. One of us or both of us will be back on Monday to recap the RSM Classic and to talk about Johnny's picks. And make sure you are checking out fanstreamsports.com all week for the RSM updates. We will have post-tournament articles for you each and every day, as well as the Sunday recap before we go on the air Monday with our full-blown recap right here on FanStream Sports. Until then, boys and girls, you guys keep hitting them straight.